All right, folks, listen, this is one of my favorites right here, right? We getting ready to do an ultimate loaded breakfast casserole. Super easy, and if you guys look, you can see right here, I got a few ingredients right here. Once you pull all your ingredients, as I go over all of these, look at that, it's just a few, right? And don't forget, the ingredient list is on my website, Smokin and Grillin with AB.com, and that's WITAB.com. All right, look, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna preheat our oven to 350 degrees. This is essential. By the time we get everything together, your oven will be up to temp, and boom, we ready to bake. All right, now the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my skillet. I got a medium flame. I hope you guys can see that. I'll do it like this so maybe you can see the flame. I'll start heating up my pan. I'm gonna put a little infused olive oil. This is garlic infused olive oil, just a little bit, right? Now, the reason I'm doing that because I'm gonna be using my chicken Italian sausage, right? I'm gonna do it on the hot version side. You know, just give it a little bit of spice, right? So as that heats up, then what we do is we just put this in here. All right, so now I get my meat masher and I start breaking this up. I just like to form a little bit of a crust on the bottom. Now by using the chicken Italian sausage, it doesn't render all of the fat like if we were using ground beef. And then for those of you guys that wanna ask, can you use ground beef? Yes, you can, right? So if I wanna add a little bit, it's okay, right? Now when I get it, you know, like about 80%, you know, cooked, right? Then you want to add your veggies. Now for me, you guys know I like to always start off with my onions first. Seem like they just need a little bit of a head start, but those who in the culinary school, they tell me it makes no difference, right? So we just add that in there. After we give this a little bit of a head start, then what we'll do is we'll come with our, you know, our bell peppers. Now, if you've been following this channel, you know about that Holy Trinity. This would have been a good time to add, you know, some celery to it also. It's up to you, it depends on the profile, but the purpose of this video is to show you how to make a great, you know, something good, you know, for a breakfast, right, or brunch, and to give you guys ideas on what to do. You know, what would you add to do whatever you want to do. Now, the veggies will pick up anything that, you know, the acid in the onion and the moisture and all of that will pick up all of the fine on the bottom of your, you know, your pan. Now in the process of me, you know, softening up my veggies, right, and getting everything to, you know, marry together, what I do is I do take my andouille sausage and I cut it down, right? You guys can cut them down in any size you like, but for me, I like the little bite-sized pieces, and I love the flavor from the andouille, right? So when I put this inside of there, right, it's gonna help, you know, with the flavor. Now a lot of you guys haven't seen me put in any seasoning. I will, but right now we using, you know, our ingredients for our seasoning, right? So now we'll take these and just put them in, just like you see. All right, so once you got everything, I can see that the infused olive oil has turned colors. That let me know right off the back that andouille is starting to release its flavor in the inside. I can see that my veggies are starting to soften. I mean, they on their way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my heat, turn that off. We'll just leave this sitting right here. Next, you want to get yourself a bowl. Get you a bowl, and what you want to do is you want to put your hash browns in here, right? Now, I know some of y'all was thinking like, he got that out. Maybe he was going to use that as the casserole. I'm not, because of what I want to do is I want to have one that's much, much deeper than that. You know what I mean? So if you guys have a deep casserole, like the one right here, it'll hold everything. Now, once we have that here, we're going to put about a cup of shredded cheese in here and then get this all mixed up, right? Then we're gonna set this to the side and then we'll move over to the next step. Now you guys should be able to see how it's starting to come together, right? So let me just add some more. You wanna save about a cup extra, you know, for the topping. All right, so once we set that off to the side, look, get yourself another bowl. You wanna get yourself a whisk. And then we got 10 eggs going in here, right? So you bring this trash can over here and let me go ahead and continue to break these, and then we're gonna whisk this together. Now, once you got that in there, I'm gonna go ahead and add my seasoning in here, right? We add that. We're gonna add a generous pinch of salt, maybe 2. Then I'm gonna add my milk. And that's whole milk, that is. Right, so we put everything over, and I probably didn't say nothing. I usually do in my videos, don't forget to have some hot, soapy water, you know, while you're cooking. That way in between, you can go ahead and whisk. Now, I mean, you can go ahead and continue and you won't have no mess. Now, you just take your whisk. Let's go ahead and get this going in here. once we're done, you know, getting our egg mixture together, that's gonna be the binder that ties it all together, right? So, obviously, you guys can see, I got sort of like a thick, you know, a deep casserole dish. Now I'm gonna spray it with a little non-stick spray, right? Because I'm the one that do these dishes. We don't want nothing to stick no way, right? So I'll set this off to the side. You guys can use whatever. Now, I'm gonna start with my hash brown and cheese mixture. Let's go ahead and just put this down here on the bottom. Now you guys will see why I wanted to use a deep casserole dish. It can be made in a traditional one, you know what I mean? But this just makes, it keep your anxiety down. When you add everything, you're like, man, do I got enough? Is it gonna overflow? Right? So once we have it in here like that, now we're getting ready to come with our meat, right? We wanna put our meat mixture on top. So we take this, we start adding this right here, and all of the flavor. Everything that's in there, we want it all in there, right? Since we had took the time to marry everything together. And then if you look at my pan, nothing stuck. Even though I'm using hex-clad pans anyway, pots and pans, but once you add them veggies, that'll get all the fond off. Then what we want to do is just spread it out nice and even. Look at that right there. We got cheese and the hash browns down at the bottom. And if I didn't say nothing before, if we using, you know, frozen hash browns, we want to make sure that they thaw it out. Right? So that's what you should end up with like that. Now we're going to add our egg mixture right here on top. And then remember, we reserved about a cup of cheese, you know, left over. That's for the topping right here, right? You guys want to make it super cheesy, you can put as much cheese as you would like, but for these purposes right here, I like it. This helps tie it together along with the egg mixture. All right, this is gonna be nice, folks. Now, I want you guys to let me know down in the comment section below, what would you do to add to this to make it fire? Even more fire than what it is. Now, the only thing left to do is stick it in the oven. Remember, we preheated at 350 degrees. We're gonna put it in for about 40 minutes, then we're gonna check it. See you then. Now, once it comes out, I like to let it sit up for at least about 5 or 6 minutes, just so it'll firm up, especially because I gotta take pictures, right? But as you guys can see, this is it right here. Look, I'm gonna go ahead and take one more out, let you guys get up close and personal with it. You know what I mean? We get underneath like that, I'll take it. Ooh, my goodness. If this don't get your family, you know, full, I don't know what will. Now, again, I asked earlier, I want you guys to let me know down in the comment section below, what would you do to add this, you know, add to level it up? I would tell you this, I would have added some, just some shrimp. Now, let me hear what y'all will do. Now that I'm done taking pictures, it's time for me to go ahead and cut this, right? So let's go ahead and get this a little bit. You can see, I hope you guys are able to see that. Look at that right there. That's all that goodness. That's some sauteed veggies. I really do wish I'd have put some celery in there too. But anyway, I'm not finna over talk it. Cheers, y'all. It's nothing like when you take that first bite, you know, when you got the season right. It's just like when you open your mouth, it kind of like inhale a little bit. Man, you could just taste it actually before it actually touches your tongue. So if you did it right, you know this is fire. Now, let me know again what you guys would add to it. I just gave you, my thing was the shrimp. You know what I mean? I'm really curious to hear what you guys say. I'm looking for different ways to make this myself. So with that being said, listen, if you're new to my channel, let me take this time to say thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, smash that subscribe button, and tell everybody out there, listen, there's a channel out here that's simplifying these recipes and taking the mystery out of cooking. All right, y'all, I'm out. Peace.